Hello. If you're following the story here on this channel, you know that we here in El Cerrito, California, are keeping a jar full of mosquitoes that we essentially rescued from some standing water here in the yard. Rather than throwing them away, we put them in this jar, added some food, and put some mesh over it to keep the eventual products from flying out, and we are studying and learning. Very interesting. Okay, flying near this the other day was this insect, which I captured and then put in the freezer. And it did not survive in the freezer for very long. I thought I was going to show you a video about the probable adult form of the larvae that we are keeping. But in fact, I was wrong. And what tipped me off to being wrong is something that is lacking here. You would expect a mosquito to have a large needle-like proboscis, and this thing doesn't have that. And it has other glaring omissions, missingnesses. Let's take a look at some of the missingnesses. We expect a mosquito to have a proboscis, a hairy antenna, or a feathery antenna if it's male. Okay, this doesn't have that at all, right? Not at all. In fact, you can see the antenna is, I don't know, anything but fuzzy, and it has kind of normal fly-looking mouth parts. It is, in fact, drum roll please, a Mycetophilidae. It is a so-called a fungus gnat. Okay, cool. So let's look at a little bit more about that and see what makes it a fungus gnat. You know, at least in terms of identification. You can see its compound eye. You can see its mouth parts. But if you're very, very observant, you can see something else. You can see its halteres, pronounced halteres. Let's see if we can change the angle here. Do you see this club-like organ right there? Let's crank up the light. Right here, this club-like organ right here is its haltere. It has a pair of them, where a dragonfly would have another set of wings, the rear wings. Dipterans, flies, common flies, and an entire family of flies have halteres, which act as gyroscopes. Gyroscopes, which help them control their position in space. Okay, they have these guys. So evolutionarily speaking, these are reduced wings that have been adapted not to serve for propulsion like wings. Wings let you move in space in 3 dimensions and also propel. These are sensing organs effectively. They flap back and forth, and help the creature stay in space. Now, this picture here, briefly, is of a strepsipteran. They evolved to change their front wings into halteres, as opposed to the aft wings. In our creature has evolved to change its aft wings into halteres, or at least, you know, the family did. Okay, so that's pretty interesting, I would say. I would say it's pretty interesting. But floating in the jar were other things. There's these little red wriggling creatures, and they wriggle just like mosquito larvae wriggle. Okay, so what's going on there? Let's find out. Let me show you. I got more for you. This right here that's coming into view right now, right there, is about twice the length of a mosquito larva. Let's add some light. And let's do some focus. Focus. There it is. Now, there's a little bit of glare from the light, but you can see what you're looking at here. It's kind of worm looking, but it has a regular insect head. And if we center this and zoom in, we're going to see some cool shit. That is the larval stage of this Mycetophilic creature, this fungus gnat. So cool. You can see its little, oh, it's still alive. You can see its little, or that could be brownie in motion. You can see its little antennae looking thing here. Oh no, it's alive. You can see its 2 eye dots. You can see here it's got this fuzzy organ. I don't know what it is or why it's there, but it's some fuzzy grabbity-dabbity organ. I found out what this was, not by identifying it directly. Once I figured out that the thing I was looking at was not a mosquito, which I showed you earlier, I looked up, you know, these fungus gnats, and look what came up. Exactly what I couldn't identify. I couldn't figure out what the hell this red thing was, but sure enough, it is the larval stage of the fungus gnat. Isn't that cool? Isn't that so cool? Yes, it is very cool. So, okay, we've now looked at 2 life stages of these gnats. I assume they're the same species. They could be different species. I don't know what species this is. If you know what species I have under the microscope, please be so kind as to say something. Write it in the description. Tell me what's up. But now let's look at la pièce de résistance, the what's it called? The larva of the mosquito, our enemies, our sworn enemies. So here it is. Now you can see there's a meniscus around it because it's in water. These guys are super delicate. They fall apart very easily. What I do is I pipette them. I put them in the freezer. They die fairly quickly, 5-6 minutes. They're dead. And then I let it thaw again, and that way they don't wriggle on me, and I can look at them. So here you get an idea of what this creature looks like. You can see that superficially, it's not too different from the fungus gnat larva. You know, it has the mouth parts, it has the little antennae looking things, but it also has a siphon, which the fungus gnat also has. I didn't show it to you. Maybe, well, in the interest of time, I'm not going to zoom in on that too quickly. It takes a long time to focus this up for you, and I don't want to do too much editing. But there's the siphon, which they use to hang in the water. And because it has a siphon, I'm pretty sure these are Culseta. These are Culseta. Culseta or Culisine larvae, okay? Which are also known as winter marsh mosquito, Culseta inornata, the inornate Culseta, okay? True mosquitoes. Very interesting. I will share all of these resources with you in the links, in the description, I should say. We expect these guys, if we keep feeding them and keeping them warm, they should develop into mosquitoes in something like, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 weeks from now, in which case I will capture them, freeze them to death, and share images of them with you. Okie dokies. So in summary, what we found earlier was not, in fact, let me put this on the microscope vision, was not, in fact, a mosquito. It was, in fact, a fungus fly, okay? A fungus fly. So this is a point in the video where I tell you about the research I've done into vector control here in El Cerrito, California, Contra Costa County, and just about everywhere I've lived in the world, but especially in the United States. Municipalities and governments go around spraying super toxic stuff, sometimes interesting toxic stuff, in order to control so-called vectors, mosquitoes, which are definitely disease spreaders. They kill a lot of people, or they're the cause of a lot of death. I've heard people say that mosquitoes are the deadliest animal in the world, but that is only true if you don't consider humans to be deadly animals. The United States is responsible for hundreds upon hundreds of thousands of deaths in Afghanistan and Iraq during those wars. And if you've tuned into the news to see what the U.S., Israel, Russia are doing, they're definitely killing a lot of people and a lot of other creatures at the same time. So So this is all to say, I'm not exactly sure that the amount of vector control that we do, or the way we do it, is really the right thing. We're losing our insects in this world, and we need insects to stay alive. Insects as a group are an important part of the ecosystem as pollinators and as food for other creatures that we depend on. And when we spray these toxins, we don't just kill mosquitoes, but we kill things like fungus gnats and stuff like that. If you know anything about the world or history and stuff like that, you realize that these sorts of decisions usually have unwanted and rather negative repercussions. So let's take this time to ask ourselves if the way we're doing things and how much we're doing things is the right way and the right quantity to do things. That is to say, killing creatures with toxins we spread in our neighborhoods. Okay, Smokies, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the description below. I'm going to continue to share what I learn about the world around me for as long as I can. And that's about it. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.